What is up, Tube users? I'm the Stereotypical Gamer, and welcome back to another fantastically fun games for under $15. Today, we are taking a look at one of my favorite games to come out in the past year. It won the Sprinkles Award at the TSG Awards for innovative gameplay on top of creative innovations in first person shooters, and that is Friends versus Friends. This is one of my favorite games to come out in the past year, and I've followed this game from very early developments. I saw it at a PAX a few years back and have just really followed all of the early access developments to the full launch, and now we just hit the 1 year anniversary of this game, and it's kind of just crazy to think about how the game was at launch and just how stagnant everything was. There wasn't a lot of characters, not a lot of different weaponries and cards, and definitely not a lot of maps. And now there's just a plethora of all of that, and there's just so much content in the game that is totally free. There's no microtransactions, and it is just a fantastic breath of fresh air, and it's just a really fun game that is just fun to play with friends, fun to play online, fun to play even with bots. Just each round is just so fun based on the decks that you're playing, and it just feels unique each time you go into a round. So basically how this game works is it's a 1v1 first person shooter, or 2v2, 3v3, they have different kinds, but basically you're playing against another person in a first person shooter arena, and basically what makes it unique is you have a deck of cards that either give buffs to yourself or debuffs to the other player or different weapons. There's a lot of different cards, and just kind of building decks around certain characters that have certain just built-in traits to their character and stuff like that is really fun, and just how it's expanded over the year has been really fun to see, and just what you can do not just solo, what you can do in now 2v2 and now 3v3 is just crazy. The kind of decks that you can synchronize with teammates is really fun to just experiment with, and I absolutely love this game for that. And I think the gameplay itself really carries a lot. You know, each round is totally unique based on the cards that you have and based on what you're playing against and stuff like that. But the grind for different things, the grind for card packs and to obtain these new cards and stuff like that, and the grind for cosmetics is really what keeps me going and keeps this game feeling fresh and gives me a purpose to play the game. And I think the card pack opening is the best part. Unfortunately, when you get to like kind of the end grind, when there's not any new cards to obtain, there isn't much. They've added some new things that kind of help you along the way if you're like missing one or two cards in like the entirety of the game. But overall, once you kind of get to that end grind, it does become stagnant. But overall, I think they've really done some things, especially in the past year, that have really helped lessen that stagnation. And it's interesting to look back from when this game first came out and think about the complaints that I had with the game then, and basically all of them have been resolved. You know, one of the biggest complaints that I had was there weren't enough maps. I think you need a lot of different environments for this game to just have fun in, and they've really stepped up their game in the map making and just in terms of movement in this game, and how you can move around all of the different maps is really fun, and I absolutely love the movement. Even though there's not much to it, you know, you have your typical crouch and jump, and there's no sprint. You can like give yourself speed boosts, I guess, but there's not really a whole lot to the movement, but it feels so smooth, and the environments allow you to kind of just get to these wacky places that you normally wouldn't think you could get to, but just you can because of how things work in this game. And I absolutely love the movement. It's probably one of the biggest reasons I love the game, because the first person shooting mechanics aren't the greatest, but it definitely makes up for it with the movement. And then another big complaint that I had with this game is the amount of friends that you can play with in the game. When it first launched, you could really only play with either one other friend and do 1v1s, or you could do 2v2s with him, or you could have 4 people, and that was kind of it. You couldn't really have 3 or any other kind of combination of people, and it really kind of, there wasn't anything else that you could do, so there was a lack of just kind of different things you were able to do. But now with 3v3 added to the game, with free-for-all added to the game, it has made it really fun to just have all these different options for how many friends you have playing with you for the night, and it really has opened up what we can do, and I absolutely love it for that. Although free-for-all, I will say, does need some fixes, and I'll get into that when we get into the bad aspects of this game. But I'm not done talking about the good, because I think one of the best things about this game is the deck building part of it. You know, that's kind of the thing that makes it unique. And the card pack openings, and just kind of just the whole setup for card pack openings, of the animation for opening it, the different kind of like rarities that you get, and the upgrades for getting duplicates of the same card, so you can like make it better, as it were, without it costing more, is really a fun and unique idea that adds to the already unique and innovative gameplay this game offers. But let's move on to some of the bad aspects of this game. And as I was saying earlier, free-for-all is one of the bad aspects, simply because you can team up in a party and go into free-for-all. So like the other night, I had 3 friends and we decided to go into an open free-for-all lobby, and basically it was us 3 and one other random person. And yeah, technically it's supposed to be free-for-all, we're supposed to fight each other, but since we are in a party, we could just team up on this one person, and we couldn't bring ourselves to actually do that. We're not that cruel of people, but it is a thing that you can do, and it just kind of deters me from ever going into a free-for-all solo, because I figured that would be the thing that would happen to me. Another issue I have, and I don't know, maybe this has changed recently, is I wish there was some sort of like tutorial for new players. I've gotten my friends into this game, and there's not really any sort of tutorial that the game gives you. I just kind of showed them the ropes and kind of told them how things work and stuff like that, but the game really doesn't do anything for you. There are like bot matches that you can play, which are pretty easy, and you can get your feet wet and kind of test stuff, but overall there's not really anything for just someone who just wants to check this game out and trying it for the first time to really help guide them how to play the game properly. Now, that's not to say that this game is like difficult to learn. It's pretty easy if you know how first-person shooters work, but the card mechanics can be a little bit tricky. It definitely took me a few rounds to just kind of understand it and then kind of build around stuff with the cards. But I really do wish that there was something in the game, like some like tips or tricks, or like a tutorial level that shows you how the cards work. My only other complaint is I wish there was more variety in the weapons in this game. I think overall there's only 7 different weapons, and that includes like the default pistol, and there's not really any that are fun. The sniper is kind of fun to get headshots with, but it just kind of bland and boring, and for the most part you're going to be using the default pistol unless you have like a character that starts with something else. But it is a really bland weapon, and the cards are what make everything kind of spicy and kind of unique, but the overall first-person shooting gameplay of this game isn't the most exciting. But overall, I would say the uniqueness of the card mechanic with the first-person shooting, the kind of party style of playing with your friends in these first-person shooter arena kind of style, is really fun and exciting, and it definitely outweighs the bad aspects of this game. And, you know, they've gone through a ton of updates over this past year. I've followed this game for longer than that, but just through the year of release, there's been so much content added, all for free. I'm sure that there is more to come, more balances to come, and maybe they'll fix the issues that I have with this game. That's a big hope, and I'm actually very hopeful for that, so that's always a good thing, and really enjoy this game, and I can't recommend it enough. Like, honestly, I think this game is definitely in consideration for the most improved game in the past year, because I look back at when this game first came out, and while I definitely could have recommended it for this series back then, I think now is definitely a better time to do so because of how much more content is in the game and how much it has improved over the past year, and what they continue to add is just super exciting, and what they will continue to add throughout this year just to see what will become of it is going to be really fun. And just another thing that I absolutely love about this game is the art design and kind of like the graffiti pixelated style this game has, along with the soundtrack to this game. I love the like kind of funky new pop kind of sound that it has. I don't like the main menu music of like this like super angelic kind of just humming, almost like a cult soundtrack kind of thing, but other than that, I really love everything else about the soundtrack to this game. But anyways, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Go check out Friends vs. Friends on Steam for only $10 now. Make sure to comment and hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.